When this 1983 roll arrived, I saw two things immediately: reinforced tape and a missing end cap. Normally, red flags. But the paper looked right, the seams looked right, so I decided to open it anyway. And I'm glad I did, because what was inside completely changed my expectations. Alright, now let's rewind and take this from the top, starting with the roll itself. Because before those toners and DDRs showed up, a few details already had my attention. So I picked up this 1983 roll of Libertads because it had a very nicely toned ender. But when I picked it up, I started noticing that the seal was a little bit questionable. It looks like it may have actually been tampered with, and there is no protective disc on the end of these like you would usually find. So the question I have is this an original bank wrapped roll, or did somebody reseal it? So let's open it up and find out, shall we? Okay, coin number one. Gotta say, that's got a nice little patina on it. Let's see what we can find on the scope. That is actually pretty nice. I like the colors. Not seeing a lot of abrasions or damage. Okay, if we are looking at coins of this grade, we might be onto a very nice roll. Or did he plant one to make us think we had a really nice coin and a possibly very nice roll? Let's find out. Coin number two. Very nice luster. Couple of marks, couple of abrasions, little noise above the head. All right, nothing fantastic strikes out or stands out so far. A couple of minor hits in the fields. The one took a rim hit there, little on the chest and thighs. Obverse looks decent, little noise, little chatter here and there. Nothing too terrible. All right, that's coin number two. Coin number three. And again, we've got some hits up above the head and the rim. Obverse looks fairly clean. Get a little closer look at it. Yeah, a couple of, medium-sized hits up there at the top. A little bit down there below PLATA PURA. Obverse looks pretty good. No real issues there. Okay. Coin number three. This is coin number four. And we've got a little rub over there under PLATA PURA. Little hit above the head. A little bit of noise, not too bad. Obverse looks pretty good, actually. Okay. Get a close-up real quick. Alright, that is the only real issue I see up there, and then over here. Alright. I can live with that. Coin four, that was. This is coin number five. Alright, can this one maybe make up for a couple of the misses we've had? Okay, I have to say, let's focus, come on. There we go. I have to say that looks promising so far. Well, this could well be the best one of the bunch so far. A little bit of rubbing on her torso, on the thighs, a little bit of rubbing by the one, Overall, pretty good looking surfaces. Obverse, a little bit of hit there by the snake head. Overall, I'll take that all day long. All right, that's coin number 5. Well, what do you think? Is this a resealed roll, or is this one that we can feel a little more comfortable with? We've seen a quarter of the coins so far, and let's see what we've got here. All right, this one doesn't look too bad. All right, another nice little 83. A little bit of noise, a few rubs. Those are not really the thing over there above the A. That doesn't really bother me. That's more of just a rub than anything else. So that doesn't really impact the surface of the coin. I don't think that would be a major hit to grading. All right, that's not too shabby. Over here, you'll see what I mean. Notice how that is not a groove in the coin. It's just a rub mark. Unlike those couple of small hits up there above the head. Obverse, looking fairly decent. Okay. That was number 6. About a third of the way through. Coin number 7 is this little beauty. Well, not so beautiful. All right. I was hoping this one might help make up for the roll, but nope. All right. Obverse looks pretty good. Reverse, we got a couple of massive, well, not massive, but we got a couple of bigger hits up there above the head. So that's rather disappointing right there. But the obverse looks really nice. All right, so that's coin number 7. All right, can coin number 8 pull us out of the doldrums? Let's see. All right, what have we got? Well, we do have some noise over there by the 1, but that is more surface than anything else. We've got beautiful luster and actually very, not too much really in the way of abrasions. That's pretty nice. All right, what have we got here? Nothing really strikes out. A little bit down at the bottom. All right, let's get a nicer look over here. This isn't too bad. A couple of small hits above the head. She does have some rubbing on the thighs, the shins. A little bit of noise out there by the 1. And down there at the bottom, that's where I saw a little couple of hits. All right, that is coin number 8. Coin number 9. Well, I don't know if this one's going to pull us out or not. Yeah, I'm going to have to say no. I don't know what happened to that poor thing on the left side, but that's not working for me at all. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what happened to this poor thing, but that is really unfortunate. That is like the runt of the litter right there. We don't even need to see the reverse on that one, do we, everybody? Up close, we can tell that one is probably not going to be our favorite coin. All right, we're halfway there. Here is coin number 10. Will number 10 be the secret winner? Well, we do have some noise under PLATA PURA. Otherwise, reverse looks pretty good. Wow, obverse looks better. Okay. What can we see up close and personal? Yeah, there are a couple of hits in the field, but overall, not too bad. And am I seeing? All right, we're going to come back to that. That might be a double die reverse. A little bit of noise on the rim or around the motto. All right, let's take a quick look at this because I need to be sure if what I saw is what I saw. All right, now it does not look like we have a doubling, at least not over there. And that's what I saw over here. Okay, we may well have a double die reverse. Look at the A, the first A in PLATA. Look at the T's, got a little bit of an outline to it. Look at the L, where you can literally see like that outline. I wouldn't say this is a heavy double die, but I mean, you can see it right there. Let me zoom in for you a little bit more. Hang on one second. All right, so what we are actually looking at, see this right down here? That is clearly a doubling. Same thing up here. Now, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure you change the lighting and the angle, and then if you still see it like that, that, my friends, is a double die reverse. Okay, so this is rapidly now my favorite coin in the bunch. Let's see, that is coin number 11. Let me reset my table over here, and let's get a good look at her obverse. All right, we got a little bit of hits down there on this side over here. A little bit of noise up there in the motto above the estados. But that is a very nice double die reverse 1983 Libertad. Okay, coin number 11 that was. Let me know in the comments what you think of that one. All right, coin number 12. Can we find another double die reverse? We usually find them in pairs or even triplets. All right, so far so good. That surface looks fairly decent. Couple of minor hits, nothing too bad. And again, a little bit of stuff up at the top by the motto. Overall, I'm not upset with that. More importantly, what do we look at over here? All right, now we do have some minor rubs here and there. Couple of abrasions. Nothing terrible, but let's get a little closer look here. Because I thought I might have seen a little on the one, but well, there might be just a shade, but I can't really call that a doubling. What do we got over here? No. Okay, that one is not a double. Fair enough. Coin number 12. I think, right? 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, that was number 11. I am so sorry, guys. I can't even count. All right, here we go. Whatever coin number this is, I'll have overlays so that it'll be straight. Don't even listen to me. Okay. That one isn't bad. That has a couple of minor rubs, and that's about it. I really like the surface on that one. And the obverse. Okay, this might be the best one in the bunch. Let's take a quick peek. Well, I'm seeing one hit above the wing there. Otherwise, well, on her breast, unfortunately, there's a nice little smack. Okay. Not as nice as I thought. I thought this might have been the savior right there. Okay. Next one up. This has potential. I think. Yeah, that's not too bad. There's a couple of marks, but I'm not seeing anything horrible. A little bit of color and a decent obverse. All right, here we go. That's what we're looking at over there. Couple of hits. Nothing terribly significant, really. A reasonable coin. All right, that one doesn't give me heartburn. Next one up. Oh, this one might be something to look at. Hang on, what have we got here? All right, a little bit of rim toning. A small hit above the one. Otherwise, pretty clear fields. All right, well, we're more than halfway through this roll. I'm not sure if this was reseeded or maybe he just reinforced the tape and that's why it looked funky. I don't know. That's actually not a bad looking coin either. There you go. A little bit of color on the edges. All right, a couple of hits on the breast and the one above the one I saw earlier. Couple of spots. All right, next one up. Getting down to the last few coins. What will we find? Will we find one worthy of grading? Because we have not really yet. Although this one may be one of the bigger double dies I have seen in a while. Let me see this under a little closer magnification. Oh, that's going to require a lot more up-close inspection. I believe we have got something very interesting going on over here on the PLATA PURA. Look at that. Yeah, that is about as heavy a doubling as I have seen in some time. That is just spectacular. All the way down to even part of the P has a little bit of doubling on it. Up on the top, both A's. That's just impressive. Now, do we have any on the one? Because it's usually it follows both sides, but interestingly, I'm not seeing it over here. Wow, okay. Well, that is about the most interesting coin in the batch so far. What do you all think? Let me know in the comments. Next up, another little beauty. Well, I'm seeing a little bit of an abrasion over there, which is unfortunate. But the luster almost blinded me for a minute. But this one does not look like anything special, unfortunately. No. Okay. Next one up. Let's get something out of this. Come on. Help me out. Oh, that's not good. We got all kinds of stuff going on up at the top. All right, that is not going to warrant much more of a look. We'll move right on to the next coin. Maybe this will be a little better, huh? All right, we've got some color. And I am not seeing a lot of abrasions or marks. Wow, look at this, everybody. All right, I am not upset with that. This side, we're looking at a little spot up here, but wow, that coin looks pretty nice. All right, so we've got a little color on the rim, a couple of minor hits here and there in the bottom, a small hit on her thigh. Otherwise, wow, that looks nice. And is this another double die reverse? All right, we've got to get in here and check because it sure as heck is. Look at that. Oh my goodness. I am just amazed at how strong that doubling is. All right, that's like the second or third coin we've seen with that kind of heavy, strong doubling. Love it. All right, now what was this thing up here at the top? All right, that's more like an ink smudge than anything else. That is not damage on the surface of the coin, so that doesn't bother me. All right, that is coin number 18. That may be my favorite right there. A little color, a little doubling. All right, maybe 19 will take the day. Let's see. Well, I think it took the prize on color, but it sure as heck didn't on clean fields. That's unfortunate. Wow, look at that obverse color. Oh my. You know what? I like that coin even though it's got a couple of hits on it. Let's see just how bad they are. I don't think they're terrible, but they are there. All right, the one down here is a little bigger. Those at the top are more minor. But look at that. Look at that just golden, beautiful, russet tone. A little bit of chatter, but all right, we are down to the last coin, everybody. We know this one had some ridiculous toning on the reverse. So let's check out the obverse before we flip it over and see what we're looking at. Wow, that is a pretty darn nice looking coin. I am not seeing any real damage to any surface area on this coin. Wow. Okay. And this is her reverse. Look at that. Now that is some really nice looking color, I have to say. Okay, now let's get a real nice up close and personal. Wow, look at the colors on that thing. My goodness. And I'm really not seeing a lot in the way of damage. Well, the N in the Onza took a nice little hit across it. And there is a little scratch above her head there. That's unfortunate. But wow, look at this. That, whoops, that is just sick. Look at those colors. My word. And then wait till you get over here. And you want to talk rainbow. Look at this. Oh, spectacular. Just spectacular. Not the best strike. Eyes missing a little detail. She took a hit to the breast and a hit to the arm. Like I say, we've got a little scratch up here at the top. Not the best from a grade standpoint, but man, that coin has some character and real appeal as far as I'm concerned. I love toned coins that have flair like that, and you don't see them all that often, frankly. So let me know in the comments what you think about this one. Which one was your favorite coin? And by the way, everybody, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. We are growing. I am encouraged and appreciate all of you and look forward to seeing you the next time around. Thank you for watching.